An opinion piece recently came out in the Daily O by Ajay Kotari. The article is titled, How Indian Americans Are Discriminated Against in the USA. Kotari argued that Asian Americans are racially discriminated against in the college admissions process, largely due to affirmative action. Affirmative action, if you don't know, aims to remedy past discrimination against minorities by actively working to recruit and admit minority students. Generally, however, African American, Latino, and Native American students benefit from this process. So Asian Americans tend to be admitted at a higher rate than other minorities into the top colleges. We can sit here and list reasons, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of Asian Americans, not all Asian Americans, but many, have tended to come from families or parents that are well educated. And this translates into a higher proportion of Asian Americans getting into college and into top schools. However, we're not really going to go into those reasons for this episode. We're going to just be really discussing Kotari's argument. So to get started, this chunk of the article right here pretty much explains his argument. It's, quote, if you're applying to any of these Ivy League institutions and your name is Wong or Patel, changing it to Smith or Lopez might just make the difference you need to get in. Enrollment data reveals that Harvard limits Asian Americans to a flat 15 to 18% of the student body year after year, though they increasingly dominate the top of the applicant pool.
I feel like I'm just kind of like it might just be mine against like affirmative action in general. I don't know how supportive I am of affirmative action, and like that's where it gets kind of hazy in that. But like it's like partially true. Like it's definitely like they automatically assume that you have like you've come from like that background where your parents are well educated, but I think just because your parents are educated doesn't mean like all your success is because of them. Like in the end, it's you that has to like work hard and do all the stuff that you're gonna do.
Actually, Princeton increased its admissions rate for Asian Americans to 17.7% from 14.1% after complaints from the Asian American community. And Princeton researchers found that Asian identified students had to score 140 points higher on their SATs to gain admission to prestigious colleges compared to white students. Asian Americans make up only 5.6% of the U.S. population, but approximately 20% of students in Ivy League universities. There probably is some discrimination against Asian American students in the college admissions. What I think he doesn't really prove is that it's because of affirmative action. So it seems like Asian Americans that white students are more likely to take those slots than white people are taking the slots that should be going to Asian Americans. I think that there's this mindset because of like stereotypes about Asian Americans, like, oh, they're all from these high-income families, they're all like geniuses and nerdy and all this stuff, that there's this idea that, oh, well, they're all one type, and we can't have a school that's majority Asian or over 20% Asian. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So rather than accept more qualified applicants who may be Asian American, they're more likely to accept other white students because they think the college needs to be majority white. When Asian Americans get into a school, they cannot be over a certain percentage because we can't have too many of the other. The majority of it has to be the norm.
He cites the evidence that like Asian Americans are getting discriminated against, and then he's like, oh, and there's this thing called affirmative action. They must be linked, but like, yeah, it might not just be like, it's not because there's like more of them and they're trying to accept more. I think it's more just like, I think they are targeting like Asian Americans in some kind of way. They're saying like, oh, because you're from this background, you require more of like a higher SAT score and stuff like that. But it's probably not like because of affirmative action. I feel like it's just because they are targeting with that race group, which I still think isn't okay. Yeah. Because like I see like, just because, like, if I'm Asian American, I guess, and so me having to get higher points just because I am Asian American doesn't seem fair at all. And so it's like, I don't really know how it would get changed at the same time, though. Like, I don't know how you would, unless, like, I mean, I guess it is the college admission process, and if they wanted to do something to, like, make it fair for everyone, like, they should be, like, trying to provide all these, like, educational opportunities for everyone. Like, that should be their goal. But I think it just, like, annoys me that, like, Asian Americans, that like what you said, like they put them in one, like even like everywhere they kind of just like stereotype Asian Americans to be like these like nerdy, like you're still an individual just because you're one race. Like we're not all the same.